Hello everyone, and welcome to a new video on the Constructor Criticism YouTube channel. I'm Spencer, host of Constructor Criticism and Limited Time Only, two podcasts about getting better at Magic the Gathering. This is Wednesday Night Warrior, and I went to a pre-release. Woo! No, I actually did. I went to midnight pre-release, and I almost never do that, and I kind of want to talk about something that is spinning in my mind after that event, and that's twofold. Non-spikes going to spiky events, and spikes going to non-spiky events. So for those who don't know, I'm a spike. I like to win at Magic. I actually find great enjoyment in getting better at the game, and trying to improve, and, I mean, you guys watch these videos, you know that that's what I'm about. But, I don't often go to things like pre-releases, because they're not very spiky, and the players don't like having spikes there, to be completely honest. Unless you go to a competitive pre-release. But what I find is that even at the competitive pre-releases, there are just lots of players who are newer, trying to have fun, just try the new cards out, and it's a really interesting dynamic. So there are multiple reasons I don't go to pre-releases very often. I've been going to Two-Headed Giant with Danny the last two times, and they've been pretty okay. I've enjoyed Two-Headed Giant with Danny. One of the reasons that I don't go to pre-releases is that later on in the day, people start adding cards to their pools, it seems like, and people just cheat a lot at pre-releases. And that's not very fun for me because I don't. So my decks don't compare to some of their decks with some sweet uncommons. That doesn't happen at all stores. I'm not saying it happens at yours, but it is a reason that I stopped attending pre-releases, is because I noticed it happening more and more, and I wasn't enjoying myself. I think that that's actually died down. But the main reason that I don't go now actually is because of that interaction that I was talking about, where I find that players who are less spiky don't enjoy having the spikes there. They don't like it. It's not fun for them. They're there to have fun, and when I'm sitting there telling them how the rules work, they don't enjoy it. And I'm not saying that I'm rude about it. Actually, it's quite the opposite. When I play with a non-spiky player, I typically am like, giving them advice on how they can cast their cards a little bit differently, letting them take back things like that to help them win, even. But I just think that the environment is a little bit different for them than it is for me. One of the examples of this is I was actually playing in round 3 of the Midnight pre-release, and I was, playing against my opponent, and the person next to me talked about how people take the game too seriously, how they flick their cards while I was flicking my cards, and it was a little awkward. And my opponent was like, yeah, I can't stand that talking to him while I'm sitting there flicking my cards. And it was a little weird. After the game, my opponent had been playing Cartouche of Strength, and he had elected not to fight either time while I was tapped out and my guy was in play. And I was like, hey, just so you know, that card actually fights stuff. And he goes, oh yeah, I knew that. I just forgot. And then, but I'm just here to have fun. Don't give me advice. And I was like, okay. That was a weird interaction. I mean, it doesn't sound as weird when I'm saying it, but the way he was talking about players that are spikes while I'm a spike playing against him, and I felt like he knew that I was a spike. It was just weird. It was a weird interaction. And it made me think about how we as spikes might interact with these people at events that are made for spikes. So whether it's a PPTQ or a GP or an RPTQ, which maybe there are not as many at RPTQs. There are a lot of GPs and PPTQs, though, of these players that are really just there to have fun and play in a Magic event during the weekend. And it made me think, how do I interact with them then? Am I kind to them? Do I think down on them for what they're doing? One of my favorite stories to tell about the podcast is this time that a player lost to another player who was playing a deck that he thought wasn't very good. And it was an interesting interaction where this player lost and was kind of rude. Talked about how he was flooded and how this guy's deck could never win. And this player was playing a brew, but it was kind of sweet. It was like playing Benful Infiltrator and Ground Assault. I think it's the card is Ground Assault. It's the one that makes your guys deal damage equal to their toughness instead of their power. So, I mean, he had this 4/4 unblockable and just killed the guy. Or this 4-power unblockable guy. And after the match, the guy walked away, and I walked up to that player, and I was like, hey, that might have been this person's first win in a PPTQ ever, and you were kind of rude. You should go apologize, because he might not come back to PPTQs if he thinks that's how everybody's going to act when he beats them. And it was kind of an interesting moment for me, as I thought, do I act like that? Do I treat players who beat me that I don't think are as good as me like that? And it makes you think. It's like, how are you treating them? What could have happened there is he could have told the guy he had a sweet deck and kind of moved on, and made that guy feel really good about possibly his first PPTQ win. Or maybe that guy's just on the next level and he's way smarter than you because he figured this out and you didn't. I think that it's really easy to think that because somebody is more casual that they're beneath you, and that's just not true. I think that we need to treat players that are more casual than us with just as much respect as we would want them to treat us. You know, it's true, I don't go to pre-releases because I don't enjoy them. I find that I don't know how to act. I don't know if I belong there. I don't feel like I belong there. I feel like I don't belong there. I feel like when so here's what happened is, years ago I was playing in a pre-release and my opponent wanted to split, and I really liked my deck, and I said, no, I actually don't want to split. I like to win. And he was really upset that I wouldn't split with him, which is something that can happen to you at a competitive event. But he actually said, like, this is a casual event. I can't believe you're trying to scum people like this. And, like, it was just weird. It was really weird. And I want to not be that way when I interact with other people. I want to be able to be kind, be helpful. I want to be able to, make them feel included and wanted at those events. And I currently don't at pre-releases. And if there's a pre-release that you find that doesn't feel that way, even last night, we had a player that was like doing things incorrectly, and like I was trying to help him, and Danny, I think even Danny thought I was being weird. Like, and maybe it's just me, maybe it's how I interact with people that's incorrect, or maybe not incorrect, just I need to figure it out. But I certainly don't feel that way at PPTQs or RPTQs or GPs or competitive events. So I'm not sure what to do to fix it. But I hope that I don't treat people the way that I'm sometimes treated at those events, as a competitive player. And I don't talk about them that way, because so what if somebody flicks their cards? So what if people keeps using the term filthy casual? That sounds so bad to me. But I hope I don't do that. I hope that I can be above that and just try and help people and be kind and move forward. So kind of a little bit of a ranty video. I hope that you can internalize this and think about how, whether you're spiky or casual, how you think about the game and how you treat others who might think a little bit differently than you. Because it's important that it's a game that we all love and we all treat each other, kindly and with respect. So thank you everybody for watching. Don't forget to check out patreon.com/ccmtg to become a patron of the show. Anything that you see fit of donating is really appreciated. It really does help the show, help the network. It means a lot to us. So thank you everyone, and have a wonderful day. Hey guys, quick update. I just want to tell you really quickly about a podcast that's coming up from Constructive Criticism called Common Knowledge. It's a podcast about Pauper and about getting better at Magic the Gathering through Pauper. Pauper is a really cool format where you only get to play commons throughout Magic history. It's got its own ban list, and it's pretty popular on Magic Online, while also being really inexpensive. We've been wanting to do a Pauper podcast on our network for a long time, and it's being co-hosted by Manny Perez, former co-host of Constructive Criticism, as well as a new host named Kyle. And we are so excited to bring you this new content. It's going to be really exciting to have another show on the network. You'll be able to watch it here on YouTube, and we're looking at maybe getting it on another website as well. Overall, guys, please check it out. It's coming to you at the end of July. You can already follow them on Twitter. If you just search CK Podcast MTG on Twitter, they already have a Twitter account. They've got a Facebook page. Please go give them some love as we get ready to launch this new podcast in July. If you have any suggestions for topics for them, they'd love to hear it. Just tweet at them, post to Facebook. And we're really excited to bring you this new content. So stay tuned at the end of July for the new Common Knowledge podcast. Thanks, everybody.